Just like Venom, you have a symbiote in your brain. Let's learn how to use it. Welcome to Inner Warrior, where we learn from our modern superhero myths to unleash the inner warrior in you to help improve your life story. Venom is the combination of Eddie Brock, more often than not, and the Venom symbiote. Eddie often calls the symbiote his other or his shadow. The symbiote often has conversations with Eddie and is often a darker character than Eddie himself, who tries to be a hero. In a recent Donny Cates run of Venom, Eddie was even taking antipsychotics to hush the mind of his symbiote. It's only working with the symbiote, though, that they become Venom and can help what Eddie deems as innocents and be the anti-hero they are. Just like Eddie Brock, we all have our own version of the Venom symbiote. Who is our symbiote? It's our subconscious shadow self. So what is our shadow self? The shadow, as termed by Dr. Carl Jung, psychiatrist, psychoanalyst, and founder of analytical psychology, represents the darker side of one's psyche and of humanity's psyche. There are two versions of the shadow self, according to Jung. There's a personal shadow that represents parts of our psyche we tend to repress, block, or defend against because they are the opposite of what we wish ourselves to be. Then there's the archetypal shadow, which represents all the evil of humanity that we inherit through the collective unconscious, which we discussed in a How to Use Your Spider Sense video, which you can check out after this one if you haven't already seen it. According to Dr. Greg Henriquez, an American psychologist, professor for the Combined Integrated Doctoral Program at James Madison University in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and author of A New Unified Theory of Psychology, people justify their actions to keep their self-concept or self-identity in check. Your personal shadows, the parts of your psyche that threaten your justifications and can make you seem unjustified. Dr. Henriquez explains the shadow more simply as the portion of your psyche that represents what you want to know that you are not, but a part of you fears that you are. This is seen in Eddie Brock's relationship with his symbiote, where he fears that he himself is a monster. He wants to be a hero, but he has his shadow symbiote that threatens to prove his fear of being a monster as true. To understand your shadow symbiote, you have to take a deep dive into yourself. What makes you defensive? Why does it make you defensive? What do you fear you are but would like to know that you aren't? Once we discover our shadow self, the qualities that threaten our self-identity, how do we actually go about dealing and working with it? A paper titled Self-Talk as a Regulatory Mechanism, How You Do It Matters, published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, which looks at 7 studies based on self-talk and language, found that non-first-person language use during introspection promotes self-regulation under conditions that are well known to arouse both psychological and physiological stress. So basically, talking to your inner self as if it's a different person actually helps you regulate yourself. Meaning, a good way to deal with your shadow symbiote is to talk to it as a separate being. Imagine your shadow symbiote as separate from yourself and mentally talk to it. Together, you and your symbiote make up who you are. In my case, we are Tony. So when I talk to my shadow, I'm talking to Tony's other. Let's give my other a cool name though, like Orax, a combination of Orion and Max. Ask your shadow symbiote why it feels the way it does, what can you do to prevent it from lashing out at others, or stop it from making us avoid conflict or feelings of guilt. For example, if I find myself getting triggered by a comment, I'll ask my symbiote, Orax, why do you feel this way? What is making you become so defensive? Orax, what can we do to replace this angry emotion? Understand that your shadow symbiote is only there because it wants to protect you, but it's not doing it in a way you'd like. This is like how Eddie has to talk to the Venom symbiote and stop him from killing innocents or stop it from trying to attack his father. We too have to talk to our shadow symbiotes instead of ignoring them. Once we can work together with our subconscious shadow symbiotes, we can also use it to help us achieve goals, just like the Venom symbiote helps Eddie Brock become the anti-hero Venom. How powerful is our subconscious symbiote? A study by an Israeli team of researchers found that our subconscious mind is able to do complex arithmetic and reading. In their report, they state, we report a series of experiments in which we show that multiple word verbal expressions can be processed outside conscious awareness, and that multi-step, effortful arithmetic equations can be solved unconsciously. This means our subconscious symbiotes are smarter than we give them credit for. The subconscious mind is also in charge of the placebo effect. According to the article, The Placebo Effect, How the Subconscious Fits In, published in Volume 5 of Perspectives of Biology and Medicine, written by Dr. J.L. Momeritz and Dr. Kirk Devroy of the Research University, Free University of Brussels in Belgium. In the article, the doctors state the different explanations of the placebo effect eventually boil down to the concept of autosuggestion, communication to the subconscious. This suggests that the ubiquitous placebo effect is in fact a covert kind of autosuggestion. What is the placebo effect? It's basically a belief that a medication is real and will have real effects on your body even if what you're taking is not really medication at all, but a sugar pill made to make you think you're taking a real medication. Like Eddie Brock's Venom symbiote, our symbiotes can help us deal with physical ailments like pain, nausea, fatigue, and even traumatic brain injuries. Our subconscious symbiotes can also be used to lower blood pressure, place us in better moods, and even help our bodies heal quicker. And like the symbiote helping Eddie accomplish his goal of becoming a hero to save innocence, we can use our subconscious symbiote to accomplish our goals as well. But first, we have to keep our symbiote and its goals in check because we don't want our conscious goals to contrast with its goals. According to the Berkeley University of California article, How to Use Your Unconscious Mind to Achieve Your Goals, by Dr. John Bargh, Professor of Psychology and Cognitive Science at Yale University, we have to look deep down to our subconscious mind and see if we really want to achieve the goals we want to achieve. In the article, when it comes to a new resolution or goal you want to achieve, Dr. Bargh states, despite our values and intentions, we may have some other goal that conflicts with our new resolution. And if our resolution is something that down deep we don't really want to change, our conscious mind is very adept at coming up with convenient excuses and rationalizations. Hey, I'll start that new diet tomorrow. And then that tomorrow never comes. According to Dr. Bargh, environmental cues also influence that subconscious symbiote of yours. If you hang around people, you may unconsciously set their goals for yourself, or you may be influenced by television or social media. For example, if you see a lot of negative Nancys on your social media newsfeed, that may actually set a subconscious goal to be more like those negative Nancys. Dr. Bargh goes on to say, if we deny these effects exist, then we are at their mercy and have less actual control than we think. But what's even better is that once we know how they work, we can turn these unconscious forces to our own advantage. To work with our subconscious symbiote, or at least not work against it, Dr. Bargh suggests using a technique called implementation intentions. The technique basically entails you setting a concrete plan of where, when, and how you would do a specific behavior towards your goal. So if you want to exercise to increase your health and fitness, but find yourself not setting the time to do it, you would set the intention, go to the gym as soon as I get out of work. 2. Set the implementation plan. When I clock out of work, I will go to the bathroom, the where and when, and will change into my gym clothes so I'll be ready to drive to the gym. That's the how intention. This way, it'd be weird to change into gym clothes and not head to the gym before heading home. For unwanted behaviors such as smoking or drinking, or eating high-calorie foods, there are 2 ways to deal with your subconscious symbiote. 1. Set up your environment to remove cues to your subconscious symbiote, such as getting rid of high-calorie foods or alcohol or cigarettes from your vicinity. Step 2 is based on the research in the Distance Self-Talk by the University of Michigan and the University of Minnesota, titled Distance Self-Talk Enhances Goal Pursuit to Eat Healthier. Simply ask your subconscious symbiote whether you really want to eat that high-calorie food, smoke that cigarette, drink that alcohol, or if you'd rather do something healthier like eating a low-calorie food, go for a run, or meditate. And how do we get our subconscious symbiote to give us the benefits of faster healing, dissipating pain, and more efficiency? Through visualization. According to studies mentioned in the Scientific American article, mental imagery may hasten recovery after surgery. In the studies, mentally picturing oxygen and nutrients flowing to a wound to help the body recover actually caused faster recovery times, while, in the other study mentioned, mentally rehearsing physical therapy actually caused greater improvements and less stress. We can also share our goals with our subconscious symbiote so it can help us achieve them. Speaking of achieving goals, here's a quick task you can achieve. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can see more videos like these. So according to a study published in the American Psychologist in 1998 titled Harnessing the Imagination, Mental Simulation, Self-Regulation, and Coping, visualizing the steps needed to achieve a goal, in the case of the study, visualizing studying for an exam to get an A, actually helped participants achieve the goal. Dr. Gabriel Oettingen, a professor of psychology at New York University and the University of Hamburg, and author of Rethinking Positive Thinking, Inside a New Science of Motivation, created a system based on over 20 years of research into the strategy called mental contrasting, which complements positive thinking with a healthy sense of reality. The system is called WOOP, and we can use it to share our goal with our symbiote so it can help us succeed by automating our behaviors towards our goal unconsciously. WOOP stands for Wish, Outcome, Obstacles, Planning. To use WOOP, identify a wish, mentally picture your wish fulfilled, and feel the positive emotions you would feel when it's accomplished. Identify your inner obstacle. How can your behaviors or thoughts get in the way of your goal? Plan a new behavior to take care of the obstacle when it comes up. The plan could be an action or thoughts, which are essentially mental actions. As an example, let's say I want my symbiote to help me finish writing the script and editing this video. With step 1, I'll clarify my wish of having the video on YouTube and the feelings of gratitude, joy, and excitement I will feel. With step 2, I'll spend a few minutes imagining the completed video on YouTube and seeing the view rate increase and feel gratitude, joy, and excitement. With step 3, I'll identify my inner obstacle of procrastination, which will get in the way of me completing the script and editing the video together. In step 4, I'll create the plan that if I start feeling lazy and try to procrastinate, I will talk to my symbiote and ask, Orax, would you rather be lazy or help people through finishing this video? Then I'll imagine myself getting lazy and procrastinating. But then I'll imagine my conversation with my symbiote kicking me back into gear. What about improving tasks such as exercise, sports, or some other technical skill? Our symbiote can do that as well. According to Dr. Jennifer Cumming and Dr. Sarah Williams of the University of Birmingham's School of Sport and Exercise Sciences, in Chapter 11 of their Handbook of Sport and Performance Psychology, following the pedalep model, which encourages individuals to create conditions for imagery rehearsal that mimics as closely as possible the circumstances of physical practice or performance. Using the pedalep model, you have to imagine yourself physically at a location performing the task you want to improve in real time, making corrections as you go, feeling positive emotions like confidence in your skill, and switch between third-person view to analyze your body position and first-person view to do the task as if doing so in real life. Before we break down our interactions with our symbiote, be sure to hit the like button to save this video to your liked videos so you can refer back to it later. So now let's break down our interactions with our symbiote to make it easier to follow. There's the dark side of your symbiote, controlling your symbiote, and working with your symbiote for healing, goals, and skills. To deal with your symbiote's dark side, find what triggers you, what makes you feel angry or inadequate or fearful. Don't act on those triggers and instead visualize your symbiote, asking it why it's making you feel that way, and ask it how it can use a better feeling instead. To control your symbiote, remove environmental cues that may cause your symbiote to take on negative behaviors or traits. When faced with a decision between doing something you want to do and something luring you towards a negative opposite, ask your symbiote if it really wants to harm you with that alluring thing or if it actually wants the thing you want, which is more beneficial. Set intentions and implementation plans towards your goals so you'll have to do those things. To work with your symbiote for healing, impress physical healing upon your symbiote with visualizations of injuries healing or of pains dissipating so your symbiote will get to work speeding up the process. To work with your symbiote for your goals, identify a wish, mentally picture your wish fulfilled and feel the positive emotions you would feel when it's accomplished. Identify your inner obstacle. How can your behaviors or thoughts get in the way of your goal? Plan a new behavior to take care of the obstacle when it comes up. The plan could be an action or thoughts, which are essentially mental actions. Then, imagine the obstacle and the plan. To work with your symbiote for skills, imagine yourself physically at a location performing the task you want to improve in real time, making corrections as you go. Feel positive emotions like confidence in your skill and switch between third-person view to analyze your body position and first-person view to do the task as if you're doing so in real life. Continue doing so with regular physical practice of the skill. So how do you plan on using your symbiote? Have you ever used your symbiote like this before? Have you ever done shadow work with your symbiote? Let me know in the comments below. Also, click here to see how to use your real-life spider sense to predict the future and improve your senses.